Joining us, former advisor to Mark Zuckerberg, an early investor in Facebook, Roger McNamee. Roger, good to see you.
It's good to see you, Katie.
So, are these apps intentionally designed to addict?
Well, their own internal documents say that that's exactly what happened. I mean, thanks to Frances Haugen and a bunch of other whistleblowers, we have access to literally hundreds of internal Facebook memoranda, reports, research reports done by their scientists. They confirm absolutely that not only that the products were designed to engage children and teenagers in harmful ways, but that every single time Facebook had an opportunity to fix the problem, it actually made it worse. And on the merits, Facebook has an enormous problem here because it's its own, or Meta has a problem because it's its own internal research that is being used against it, exactly as was the case with the tobacco companies.
Yeah, and by the way, that internal document you just referenced is being shown to Mark Zuckerberg. Right now, we've got somebody inside the courtroom, and it includes a mention or more that teen use is included in the strategic goals. Increased teen use of Instagram is one of the strategic goals. Zuckerberg was asked about that. He said it was discussed, but not a goal.
That's obviously not true. The original design of Instagram was built around a concept called filters. And filters were designed to make people look better on a computer than they are in real life. And for teenagers, this is a huge problem because teenagers are very image conscious and they're very competitive. And so what Instagram did literally from its first days is it made children more stressed out, and it effectively increased depression, anxiety, and bullying. And that was the original design. That's the company Facebook bought in 2011. And I would just observe that going forward, Zuckerberg's problem is that it's his own data, his own research that's being used against him. And it's not a he said, she said thing. It's a we said thing. And, the question is, are we going to hold him accountable? I first came on your air talking to you 8 years ago about this topic, and nothing has happened in those 8 years. So I'm very hopeful that in a court of law, with a jury, reasonable people will look at this and go, you know what? This is actually not a good thing. And we can actually stop it.
Yeah, that's such a good point. We have been talking about this for 8 years. It has been a problem for 8 years. It is addictive. And the problem among younger users is apparent to anybody who has a child and can see it for themselves, especially a teenager who is very influenced by those around her and the world. I mean, I've got a couple teenagers, and I can see it influencing them, not positively. It is a scary thing. He was asked about, there are some new rules, including restrictions for teenagers on teen accounts. They've just rolled them out. We can discuss whether they're effective or not. But he did say he appeared to blame the user here, saying that when a 9-year-old signs up, they're reading the term agreements. And that's on them, and that it should be only 13-year-olds. And if you're lying about your age, you're lying about your age. They're not, I guess, arguing they're not legally responsible if you're misleading the application. Do they have the ability, the actual ability, to detect people who are lying about their identity, lying about their age?
Well, the answer is they know an extraordinary amount about everybody. And the critical element here is their incentives. The way their business model is set up, they not only don't care about the legal requirement that no one under 13 use their product, they have been pushing for years to create products specifically targeting people under the age of 13. And they've been pushed back politically a couple of times, but they keep doing it. And no one should kid themselves about Facebook's intentions here, or Meta's intentions broadly defined. Meta has a goal, maximizing shareholder value. In America, we tell CEOs that's their only duty. And Meta has interpreted this so literally that their view is if the best way to maximize shareholder value is to harm teenagers or to undermine democracy or to enable terrorists to do massive terror campaigns, as happened in Christchurch, New Zealand, when 51 people were killed, looks at it and goes, that's completely legitimate. And in a world where our government has chosen not to hold them accountable for any of that, they're going to keep acting.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good point to make. And the point about the court of law is a good one as well. Why did they not try to settle this case?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer. I think it's probably like tobacco, where they don't want to set a precedent. They want to win this in the court of law. And they have a legal angle that we have to pay attention to, which is that the psychology and psychiatry profession has a very explicit definition of addiction. And it does not yet incorporate social media, notwithstanding the fact that the vast majority of psychologists and psychiatrists believe that these products are addictive. The process for getting that officially into the list of addictions takes a long time, and it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I wonder.
So Facebook's going to argue on a technicality, this isn't really addiction. And I'm sitting there going, I don't care what you call it. They are hurting kids.
Yeah, and if it's up to a jury, a jury of people who are probably also addicted to social media, because frankly, it's not just kids, we all are. It seems.
Well, and this is the thing.
I question the strategy.
Meta has a market capitalization of $1.6 trillion. It has done that. It has made all that money by disregarding the public health, by disregarding democracy, by disregarding values that America lives by for 200 years. And I'm looking at this and going, you know what? As a country, we have to make a decision. Do we think that's okay or not okay? And it's not just Meta. I mean, we have to really pay attention to chatbots, because if you think social media is bad, chatbots, people believe that these things have some kind of sentience, that they're human. I mean, not everybody, but enough people believe that it's going to be a gigantic problem. And we have to cut it off at the pass. And I'm really worried that we're just sitting back and letting this stuff happen as we have for the last
here's what I'm hopeful about, that a jury can do what our government has been unable to do and these social media titans have been unwilling to do. Roger McNamee.
I'm with you.
Good to have you.
Katie. Let's see it.
Nice to see you. Always great to have you.
Always a pleasure.